Hello, friends. Welcome back to the study of consumer behavior. This is third lecture in this series. In earlier lectures, we studied about what is consumer, what are the different types of consumer, what is consumer behavior, and why a marketer needs to study about the consumer behavior. So, in the second lecture of this series, we discussed the factors or determinants that affect consumer behavior, because if marketer studies these factors and determinants, accordingly he will be able to frame his marketing policies or programs. So determinants of consumer behavior were broadly categorized in four major groups or categories, that is, economic determinant, sociological determinants, psychological determinants, and personal determinant. In the previous lecture, we have already discussed economic category and sociological category of consumer behavior determinants. Now, today we shall continue with the other two categories, that is, psychological determinants and personal determinants. So, psychological determinants, let us continue with this category. Psychology has contributed much to the marketer in understanding consumers. It explains how consumers learn about the product, how they can recall from their memory and develop their buying habits. Psychologists have also provided certain clues as to why a consumer behaves in a particular manner. Buying decisions of the consumers are greatly affected by psychological factors such as motivation, perception, learning, his attitudes, and even his basic needs of life. So, let us continue in detail with the psychological determinants of consumer behavior. So, the first variable or determinant in this category is motivation. Motivation is the way in which urges, drives, desires, aspirations, or needs they direct, control, or explain the behavior of human beings. Motivation is actually why of the behavior. That means why individual makes a particular decision or why he is behaving in a particular manner. Motivation has close relationship with the behavior of the customer at a marketplace. Motivation may be something that motivates a person in action and continues him to that course of action which he is following. So it determines the behavior of the consumer. So whenever any need arises to the human being or a person or a consumer, he makes an effort to satisfy it. But a leading psychologist, Abraham Maslow, he devised a need hierarchy theory of consumer or human beings. And according to Maslow, this theory, need hierarchy theory, it greatly helps the marketer in understanding the stage of needs of the consumer and accordingly devising his marketing policies and strategies. So let us continue with the need hierarchy theory of Abraham Maslow, that what are the different needs of the consumer and their stages. So the prime need, the first need of the consumer are physiological needs, that is, the basic human needs, which are essential for the survival and maintenance of human being, that is, food, clothing, water, air, sleep. So These needs must be satisfied primarily, and unless and until these needs are satisfied, other needs are of no importance for the consumer and even for the market. The next level of need is safety need. So, safety needs arise after satisfaction of physiological needs. These needs include safety regarding physical, economic, and social security. For example, security for job, security for safer life, security for the properties of human beings. So, consumer purchase security devices, burglar alarms, shockproof electric appliances, ceasefire, health products and health aids, and insurance policies to satisfy his safety needs. Then the third category of need in the need hierarchy of human beings is social need. Social needs, they follow after the satisfaction of physiological and safety needs. Man is a social being and he likes to be accepted in the society. So, social needs may include love and affection, affiliation in the society, making friends, socializing with others. So, advertisements, for example, the advertisements for toys, healthcare products, personal care items, they are focused or based on fulfillment of such social needs. Then the fourth category in the hierarchy of human need are esteem needs. They follow after the satisfaction of three earlier needs, that is, physiological, safety, and social needs. Esteem needs may include prestige, self confidence, self respect, knowledge, success, and independence. They are also known as status needs. Purchase of luxury items, for example, ACs, costly or premium mobile phones, jewelry items, expensive furniture, and other home appliances. They are done to satisfy esteem needs or status needs of the consumers. Then the last needs in this hierarchy of human needs are self actualization needs. They emerge only after the satisfaction of earlier four needs. Self actualization needs are highest of the order of human needs. This is the desire to achieve maximum or to reach at the top. So, such need may be present in every individual, but fulfillment of such needs it will depend on the capabilities of human being. So, a marketer will be benefited by Maslow's theory if he is able to know that at what level of need a consumer is, and accordingly he may devise the products and provide the goods and services to satisfy the needs of consumer. Next variable or determinant or factor in this psychological determinants category is perception. Perception is the process whereby stimuli are received and interpreted by individual, and then they are translated into a response. Every individual perceives the image through his eyes, senses, that is, eyes, ears, nose, skin, or mouth. So, people are exposed to a large number of stimuli present in the environment. People generally notice those stimuli that relate to their current needs, and then they twist the information to their ideas and preconceptions. But consumer specifically perceive only those information which will fit into his mental setups. Now, perception has a great impact on the consumer behavior and his decision making. If we are talking about the marketing, there are different type of receptions which a marketer must note or must give importance in respect of consumer behavior. These perceptions may be the product perception. For example, if the food item is fresh, or what quality of the food item pertains to, maybe organic or maybe having other such attributes. So such type of perceptions, they affect the consumer behavior. Then price perception, consumer may be having perception that low products are of low quality, or high priced products they bear better quality or good quality. Then there may be brand perception. For example, the people may consider or perceive that Philips, they are of highest quality in electric appliances, or the Samsung is better than other products dealing in electronic gadgets. Then store perception, store image in the mind of the consumer, and risk perception. For example, the consumer may think that certain electric appliances, they consume less of the electricity, or they are shock proof. So perception plays a very important role in deciding consumer behavior. Next variable in this category is image. Image is another psychological determinant of human behavior. Image refers to the feelings of a person about a particular product. It determines what is seen and felt by the consumer about the product. So, there may be three types of images which impact consumer behavior. So, the first is self image. Self image is the picture a person has about himself in his mind. For example, a college professor may consider himself better than a school teacher. So, whatever he will purchase, uh, that he will try to purchase something which is superior to what a school teacher is purchasing. Or the store he will choose, or the brand he will choose, he will try to do something superior than the others in the lower categories of his profession. Then is product image, the image in mind of the consumer about a particular product. For example, a consumer may consider Crumpton Greaves a better brand for fans or water pumps. Then the third is brand image. Brand of an item may influence the consumer for purchasing a particular type of brand. So, brand image may be created by the marketer, or through advertisement, or it may be through the use of product, or may be created with the reputation of the firm or company. So, marketer must take into account these images while devising his marketing policies regarding products, or regarding fixing the prices of the product, or for drafting his promotional programs. Next variable in the category of psychological determinants is learning. Learning is the process of acquiring knowledge. It is the act of reasoning, thinking, information processing about a particular product or service. So, everyone, every consumer, or every human being act according to his learning process. This learning process, according to which the consumer will behave or act, it includes three ingredients or three steps. The first one is drive, that is, the need for a particular product or service which will motivate a person to act into a particular manner. So, for example, if a person is feeling hungry or thirsty, he has a drive to purchase certain food item or certain product to quench his thirst. The next step in the process of learning is cue. Cue is some environmental stimulus. It may be defined as any object in the environment which is perceived by the consumer. So, cue will determine when consumer will respond. For example, if a consumer notices an advertisement for food item, then he this may act as stimulus or as a cue. So if consumer notices after feeling hungry, that is after having risen a drive to uh, hunger, then a signboard signifying that McDonald's is 1 kilometer ahead, it will act as a cue. Then the third step in the learning process is response. Response is the answer to a given drive or cue. Response represents person's reaction to cue within his environment. So, individual has to choose some specific response in order to fulfill the drive and then cue which he has got from the environment. So, the person was feeling this created a derive in his mind to satisfy his hunger. He got the cue that McDonald's is 1 kilometer ahead. Then, after reading this signboard, when he will stop at McDonald's to satisfy his hunger for some edible item or some food item, then this is his response to the given drive and cue. So, even at if some later date, at some later time, the same need is risen, the individual will tend to repeat the same process, and gradually this may develop into his habit. So, learning sometimes develops the habits of consumers and brand loyalty, brand images, and so this way learning will craft or affect or determine consumer behavior. Next factor in this category is attitude. It is a predisposition of a person to behave in a particular manner when he is exposed to a given situation or stimulus. Social psychologists they explain attitude as emotional predisposition of a consumer to react positively or negatively to a given object or given situation. So, a person can have a positive or negative or favorable or unfavorable attitude towards certain products or services or towards certain people or maybe to certain places. So here we are talking about the marketing. So if the consumer is favorable, consumer's attitude is favorable towards a particular product and services, definitely it will increase his usage rate of that product. The next variable in this category is beliefs. So person may have certain type of beliefs and attitudes in his mind which may be based on his earlier experiences and learning. So belief is actually a descriptive thought that a person has about a particular product. Such thoughts they are based on his may be based on his opinions or faith or certain information from his environment. For example, consumer may have belief that Maruti brand of automobiles. They are economical, they are fuel efficient, or they are of better technology. And if he has developed such type of belief, then definitely whenever he will make a decision to purchase such automobile, he will have favorable attitudes toward this brand. So marketer must make effort to create a reputation regarding the product or service which he is offering to the consumer, in order to change, in order to mold, or in order to establish his behavior in the marketplace. Next variable is personality. Personality of a person, it gradually develops with certain unique characteristics, and these characteristics are called traits. And personality traits of a person are different from other people. It vary from individual to individual. Certain important traits for marketer are self-confidence, dominance, competitiveness, friendliness, social consciousness, adaptability, honesty, nervousness, etc. etc. So, understanding of the personality traits of the consumer greatly helps the marketer to identify the kind of behavior consumer might have, and this type of information or understanding to the marketer will definitely help in formulating a compatible marketing strategy for his consumers. Then the next variable in this category is lifestyle. Consumers coming from different cultures, from different social classes, from different occupations, they have different lifestyles, and the response at the marketplace to purchase certain products will definitely depend on the lifestyle they are leading to. So, the difference in lifestyle can be seen through the hobbies of consumer, the food items they purchase, the shopping they made. So, marketer must understand that what lifestyle the consumer they are leading, to which he is going to deal with, and accordingly he must frame his all marketing policies. Then the next category of consumer behavior determinants are personal determinants. So the first variable in this category is age. Age is very important factor, and the marketer, while segmenting his market, considers this factor to a great extent. And this factor has a great influence in the consumer's buying decisions. The need of every person, requirement of every individual, they keeps on changing with change in his age. Requirement of children or teenagers will be different from that of adults and old age people. So, age of consumer greatly explains or determines his behavior while making purchase decision. Next variable is education. Education of a person, they greatly widens his horizon and thinking process. Consumers' reaction towards advertisements depend greatly on education level, because an educated person is more inclined towards advertisements, and he will critically observe the advertisement. So, needs, habits, buying motives, buying preferences, awareness, decision making, all will change as per his level of education. Next variable in this category is occupation. Occupation of a person decides his consumption pattern. Personally, a person normally purchases goods that fits to his occupation. His needs will greatly depend on his work. So marketer should try to recognize that what segment of people he is going to deal with, and what kind of occupation that segment is following, and accordingly he must design his products that cater to the needs of that particular occupational group to which he is going to deal with. Next variable in this category is income. Very important, and in fact the most important factor which influences consumer behavior and consumer demand at the marketplace. Income is the purchasing power of the consumer, because whatever income he is getting will have a positive relationship with his demand, direct relationship with his demand. More the income will be, more the demand will be, and vice versa. So current income of the consumer, availability of credit facilities, liquid assets in the hands of the consumer, they all will determine his buying behavior. The next variable in this category is roles and status. The role which a person is playing in his life greatly influence his buying behavior. If a person is in the role of father, definitely whatever he will purchase keeping in view his kids or his sons or daughters. So marketer, while devising his advertisement policies or promotional programs, must look into the role or status of what a person is playing in his life. The last variable in this category is family life cycle. The stage of family life cycle also greatly impact consumer behavior. So the family life cycle contains different stages. That is, the very first stage is bachelor stage. At this stage, the fashion items are greatly purchased. Then newly married couples, definitely they are better off financially and they will invest more in consumer durables. Then comes the full nest 1 and 2 and 3. With the level of fullness, the financial position of the consumers, it keeps on increasing, and accordingly the purchasing intensity of consumer will also increase. Then comes the stages of empty nest at 1 and 2, when the children of the family they depart or settle somewhere else, leaving their parents behind. And parents now they come at the old age, so the consumption of aid equipments, medical appliances, care product, etc., they increase. And then solitary survivor, this is the last stage of the family cycle, when one of the spouse of the family or the couple passes away. Now the survivor is left with very few financial resources, and at leads the retirement age. Here very less finances or needs are left with. So, whatever is the stage of family, marketer must devise his all policies regarding the product, regarding the price, regarding the promotion, according to the stage of family life cycle. So, these were the basic determinants which we have studied that affect the consumer behavior, and a successful marketer is the one who very carefully examines all the determinants which affect or impact consumer behavior, and accordingly he designs all his marketing policies or marketing mix programs. These programs may relate to product, may relate to price, may relate to distribution of the products or even to the promotion of the products. So, thank you, friends.